Now, so episode 7 of this American Season Pass, and these quests are mostly fairly easy to do. The only thing is, some of them have some pretty weird wording involved. So yeah, I just thought I'd go and give a rundown through them and then kind of point out where's the best place to complete quite a lot of these quests. Now, so you're starting off here with perform 4 barrel rolls in a single multiplayer race. Absolutely simple, like that is just all that's needed for that is a 2-star car and effectively any multiplayer race. And you should always be doing at least 4 on most tracks, I think. Destroy 20 objects in a single race just using a Class C car. So again, easy enough. It's just one race of most things to drive through, like tables, chairs, any kind of barricades and stuff like that. It should be easy enough to do. Perform 15 perfect nitros in a single Class Cup event race. Now the Class Cups are those races inside in the daily events where there's a Class D, Class C, Class B, Class A. Class S is ongoing now. Over the weekend there will be that multi-class event where you can do the one race in each one of the classes in a high and a low tier. I'll point out the exact race that's needed for that, but that's where you need to do the perfect nitros. Now 10 shockwaves in a single Stars and Stripes event. Again, that's a very specific event, and that is the one where you're making use of the cars unlocked during this season pass to get some tokens back for them. So yeah, just one race, 10 shockwaves. I'll give one blast at that as well to get this done. Items in a legend store, to buy 15 of them. Now, easy enough for the most part, but yeah, I will go through kind of like some issues that like I have with that and a reason for like delaying unlocking that one a small bit. That might be a better idea. Now, earning 2.5k rep with a club, that should be easy considering the fact that you'll have the plus 50% bonus. The only way you could miss out on this is if you don't actually have a club. So if you are driving as a lone wolf and you want to do that, maybe it's an idea to either form your own club, although that does cost some tokens, or else just join in with a club, do a couple of races and get 2.5k that way. Drift almost 40 kilometers in Class A and B cars. Easy enough, it's just part of a grind, and I'll show how I've been doing that as part of the grind for the tracks further down. 2, again, very specific things here. Perform 60 seconds of nitro, single race, Airdropped, which isn't exactly the longest of tracks, in New York, and yeah, using that rank of car. Again, that's so specific, but I'll point out exactly where that can be found. Now, again, super specific here, using a Dodge on Navajo Nation in US Midwest, perform 8 perfect runs. So not scraping off the edges there for those perfect runs. But yeah, I'll leave timestamps marked down along this video to each one of those, just if you want to see where you can find those tracks in the career. And then this episode's version of these, drive for San Francisco, US Midwest, and New York. They count in pretty much any way you can find those tracks, so like career, multiplayer, daily events. And yeah, I'll go through each one of the 3 of them in just where you can find them and the tracks you're looking for if you're going to do that with touch drive, or how you might be able to get some of them by doing some of the other events and make more use out of those actual meters driven. Now, I would normally start at the start and work my way down through these, but I'm being very, very careful here with these 3 quests in particular, because I'm so close to the end of the actual Legend Pass levels because I got the Bundle Pass. I want to see, can I get to the actual level 50 as early as possible so that I can get the token rewards then for more of the quests up above. By that I mean, these quests give 500 Legend Pass points and the quests above give, just 100. But when I reach level 50 in this Legend Pass, these quests will just give 5 tokens, and so will the ones up above. So where I could complete one of these, which would get me to level 50, and then like the rest of the quests would become worth 5, I could also do this the other way around and say do 5 of these here. If that would get me then to level 50, the bottom quest would be worth 5 tokens. So you see, like, one way of doing this, you get 25 tokens. The other way you do this, you get 5. So yeah, I'm just trying to strategically do these ones in particular, not to actually do the easy quests first, and just to do these grind ones out first. Now, so for these drive a total of X amount of meters, which is like, yeah, 150 kilometers on each one of these three tracks, I would just say what you're looking for basically is going into the career, and yeah, depending on how far you've progressed through it, you obviously want to use an event which is further towards the end so that you'll have a faster car, because this isn't just about running the races so many times, it's about covering those kilometers as quickly as possible. So yeah, what you'll want to do is navigate basically as far right as you can in the career and look for a certain number of tracks for these, because obviously some tracks are far longer than others, and yeah, you don't have to win the races to do them. But the only thing is, I'd say watch out for events where you see the track name but you also see that it's under a hunted label, because hunted will be a different variation on the track, and you'll also have cops there that are trying to stop your touch drive car. So what I've been doing for this here is just effectively looking for these track names in each one of these categories, and then just looking to make sure it's not hunted and picking one of the fastest cars that I have and just throw it at that over and over again in touch drive. Doesn't really matter if your car will win it or not, just all it has to be is to drive it. So yeah, San Francisco, the two tracks you're looking for San Francisco are Bridge View and Bridge Finale. Now they show up in quite a few places. Obviously, since it's a San Francisco track, it'll show up in American Autos and American Extreme, and it also shows up in the Porsche section of the career, and it shows up in Class B Pro and Class S Pro. So if you've unlocked as far as those, take a look for Bridge View in those races. Bridge Finale appears loads of places throughout the career. So again, Bridge View, Bridge Finale, both of those tracks are over 2 minutes, so absolutely tons of meters to be gained by just throwing a car into touch drive on those. So for US Midwest, the two really long tracks you want to use for that are Navajo Nation and US Wilderness, both of which are found at varying places throughout the career. Loads of things like American Blaze has its Stars and Stripes, yeah, American Extreme, American Autos, pretty much lots of places with America in the title, because it's obviously a US Midwest circuit. That's where you can find Navajo Nation. Same then US Wilderness, that's showing up in, say, like events as low as the Volkswagen XL Sport has it as race number 7. The Mercedes season, Dodge season has it, American Extreme, American Autos, the French Connection even has it. So like you can find that in a lot of different places. But yeah, US Wilderness, like I said, and Navajo Nation are definitely the two names to seek out there. They're both 120-second races in US Midwest. Select car, touch drive, ignore. For the US Midwest though, the current car hunt for the Honda Civic takes place in US Midwest as well. Now, it's not exactly a long course, but the thing is, if you do that, like every run of that car hunt will give you 3 packs. You'll get a Honda Civic blueprints if you don't have that car fully unlocked and maxed out. A fantastic car, by the way, in the D-Class category. So you can kind of double up the US Midwest if you want to actually like get use out of those US Midwest meters. Drive that Honda Civic car hunt ride. The 41,000 meters that are done so far there are in about 14 to 20 runs of that car hunt already. So if you're going to be farming the car hunt anyway, don't grind that one, just do it naturally in that car hunt over the next week that's available in the game. The longest course in New York that's available in the career is in Sightseeing, it's called, but the only problem with it is it's only in the career in one stage, and it's available in that Stars and Stripes area where you find all the New York stages. The only thing is with it there, you can only use the Ford GT on it. There's no other cars available, so you might need to go for some of the other tracks. Urban Exodus, Uptown and Leaps and Bounds are all tracks that are 90 seconds in the New York stage, so I've just been grinding this one out using Leaps and Bounds because, yeah, there's a load of cars available for that. And that's race number 3 in the Stars and Stripes portion of the career then. And, like, yeah, you can use the Corvette Grand Sport with that and a bunch of other cars as well that are, like, really, really, like, fast. They'll grind out the meters and they're, like, not really the longest of refuel times. Whilst doing those grinding things, that's what I've been using as well for drifting. Now, so I'll just give one run here and, well, a portion of it, because, yeah, these tracks are obviously long and you don't need to see something touch drive a race. But, yeah, the drifting is nearly complete here, and also we've got New York. So what I was doing for that is just into Stars and Stripes. As I mentioned, sightseeing is race number 7. It's the only place it appears, and unfortunately, like I mentioned, you can only use the Ford GT on this, which is a B-class car, so you can get your drifting done on that, but yeah, you'll be limited in the amount of actual times you can run it. The other place you can do is Leaps and Bounds here. It's a 90-second course, and yeah, it's got access to way more cars. If you wanted to drive it yourself, try Nemesis or Bailey Blade. If you want to leave it in touch drive, things like the Grand Sport are really fine for doing this in touch drive. The added bonus to using, say, like the B or A class cars for these races, so for say Leaps and Bounds, or you can do it in sightseeing, is yeah, if you want to spend some of the time when you're kind of like near your switches, so you can just hold the drift button, and yeah, like with touch drive activated and the drift button, these cars will still just drive away regardless, kind of, and they'll grind out that nearly 40 kilometers of drift time that's needed as well. Just as long as, like I said, it's a B or an A class car that you're doing the driving with. So yeah, just hold the drift button, and touch drive really doesn't mind too much of the fact that yeah, you're holding that pretty much the entire time. It's weird the way it works in touch drive with drifting. It really doesn't quite make sense, especially from holding the button point of view. I would normally just toggle drift on, but yeah, that's how I've been grinding out these meters and this thing. I'm gonna cut this race though, because that's pretty boring. And across the line, and let's see, that should be, I think, the last of the drifting complete anyway, because yeah, there we go, and that's tier 46, an epic for the Stingray. And yeah, I just have some more meters then to drive in those 3 tracks before getting cracking on the upper missions. Now, I think that should be my yeah, full grinding of that. It's just yeah, throwing that Grand Sport in there, and yeah, see, that's straight up to tier 47 with just 1 mission rather than grinding out those little ones. So I definitely think kind of doing right to go with the heavies rather than going for all those small ones first. Now, I think that should be the final New York race. I've been doing them on the bridge view, because that is a crazy long track. And yeah, there we go, tier 48 unlocked with that in 1 mission. So for the final one of the US Midwest runs, I'm going to use the Dodge in Navajo Nation. 8 perfect runs is well required for that. So we'll show where Navajo Nation can be found then. If you look at American Blaze in chapter 2 of the career, straight inside here, track number 5, and loads of Dodge cars available to use with that. Pretty yeah, good choice. So Dodge Viper GTS or Dodge Viper ACR. Realistically, whilst the other car is faster and from a different class, ACR is always a favorite of mine. And yeah, I need 8 perfect runs, so it's obviously a fair amount, but this track is incredibly long. Now, you could do this probably in touch drive with these cars, because yeah, a perfect run is just drive without hitting the sides of the track. It doesn't matter about hitting other cars on the stage. So like realistically, touch drive would be fine for doing this. I just hadn't been using the Dodge cars all the time because of wanting it to be a 2-for-1 for the last track. This Navajo Nation version on US Midwest is just incredibly long, and like yeah, it's a treat for kind of getting those meters done for that quest. Like it really does go pretty much all over this track. Rarely used in events, but yeah, a really enjoyable blast around this track, because like it uses a few different variation parts to basically make the absolute most. I think is one of, there might be one other one, but it's definitely one of the very few US Midwest courses which are rated as the 120 seconds. Yeah, this Viper ACR, like I said, I'm just being careful as well to obviously keep away from walls, just so I definitely clock up those 8 perfect runs. But you can see him flying by on the right hand side every now and again. about 20 seconds of racing for the first perfect run, and then I think after that they reduce a small bit for the actual time that's required for them. Not entirely sure. I think it used to be like where it was 30 seconds, but obviously that's kind of useless on certain tracks, especially considering some of the tracks are around the 30-second mark. That perfect run does give you a boost of, I think, is it 10% or 20% nitro meter when you hit it, so pretty good just to teach the players to mind their car a small little bit. But yeah, I have no doubt in the world that that's 8 of them for sure. Just like I said, like if you see the time on this track, minute and 40 of racing close to 200 miles an hour the entire time, so absolutely tons and tons of meters gained every run of that track. And yeah, Dodge ACR, lovely agility car to drive. And yeah, even while the, like I said, the other Viper would be better at speed, that one's always going to be better with the actual, taking corners. And there we go, like tier 50 done with those high impact missions. I knew that would be kind of the best way to go with that. So all tiers unlocked. Everything else now is going to be tokens for me. Weirdly enough, yeah, because I think the first one was actually tier 49, but that's it was tier 49 that was showing. That's the tier 50 rewards with the 500 tokens, which are really nice. So now, like I said, each one of these done. From the bottom ones are getting the like maximum amount of legend pass points, and I haven't completed a single one of the upper banks here, so just gonna start ripping into these now. 60 seconds of nitro time in a single career race in Airdropped. I'm just gonna show where that track is, because realistically nitro time of 60 seconds is just make the most of a car inside there. Now, you'll find Airdropped in, like, obviously where all the New York stages are, in Stars and Stripes in Chapter 2. Airdropped is race number 5 here. And for an excessive amount of nitro time like that, realistically, you want to go with one of the kind of better cars at nitro generation. So Corvette Grand Sport would be fantastic for this. Admittedly, the Corvette Grand Sport is fast though, so it wouldn't be the worst idea if you want to just go for 60 seconds of nitro. I'd maybe take something like the Beast X or the Dodge Viper ACR, both of which can hang in a nitro state nearly the entire time they're racing, but it'd be one of these two cars that'll probably be your best bet, just for, yeah, crazy amounts of nitro generation. And yeah, like I said, there's just not quite as fast as the later cars like the Grand Sport, just so that you aren't finishing the race too fast to get it. Now, like I said, just gonna zoom to the finish line with this guy because yeah, I don't think this is going to be the most exciting of runs. It is just a case of crazy amounts of nitro and not much else. Now, and across the line there, like, okay, that's a 1 minute and 28 time in the Dodge Viper, so you need to spend around 2/3 or more of the race in that nitro state. So yeah, definitely you'd want it to be a semi capable car in terms of nitro abilities. There's the 5 tokens for, yeah, that perform 60 seconds nitro time single race. So these very specific event things though, so perform 15 perfect nitros in a single Class Cup event race. Now, the Class Cup event race I mentioned earlier here is like this Class S Cup that's on today, or it'll be the multi-class event that takes place over the weekend, probably by the time people watch this video. So, perfect nitros, let's see, Centenario is waiting on cooldown, but yeah, I've got some other nice enough S-Class ones that are always fun to drive in this. Let's see, McLaren Senna is pretty good for nitro generation. Need 15 perfect nitros though, like that is not a standard amount that you would be doing definitely in any race normally, but that's going to be just a case of putting the car into that blue state, immediately taking it out, putting it back in and out and in and out. So yeah, like I said, it's definitely not an amount that you would do in your like standard race. You definitely have to be going for this on one of the attempts. Yeah, McLaren Senna, like I mentioned, really nice nitro generation. So there's first perfect nitro, second, third, and yeah, it's just a case of nitro brake, nitro brake, nitro brake, ooh, and eat into a carriage. But it's 10, 11, 12 or 13, 14, and there's the 15 perfect nitros in a combo. So like, yeah, racing like that is not how you would definitely normally go about it, but definitely in something like the McLaren Senna. Wow, nitro shockwave. No, I dropped my combo. Yeah, McLaren Senna is absolutely like a nitro machine, just for the generation of that in between those perfect nitros. So definitely more than 15 done in this car. Like absolutely love having this thing at 6 stars max tuned. Just missing a few epic import parts, but yeah, that thing is an absolute handling dream car. Always fun. But yeah, there we go. That's that quest blasted out of the way, and some S-Class blueprints. Yay! For the first 4 S-Class cars. So they're cool for trade coins, definitely, because of the thing. It's like 64 trade coins per, with that legend pass bonus in effect, and obviously you've got cool, the 5 tokens at the end. But yeah, you have a lot of credits and stuff to be had from that race as well, so it's definitely a cool one to farm out. Now, perform 10 shockwaves in the single stars and stripes race event. So again, still here in the daily events area, and stars and stripes is the one represented by the SSC Chuatara car in your dailies. But yeah, this is what you have to go into to do this. Yeah, there's no actual prerequisite for this, so you could use any of the cars. Obviously, I'm just missing the Grand Prix car, the Corvette, and the SSC itself from this, but I can make use out of any of the other cars from this entire event coming forward so far. So yeah, 10 shockwaves required for GT. Beautiful, like, looking car. I've got all the stuff. Play anyway. That's a handy enough warning to not say never show me this again, to be honest, because there are times where you might make a little mistake with this one and like redo events sometimes with cars where you won't get any of the rewards from them and stuff. So it's definitely, that's one error message where I never clicked the never show me this again. It's not long enough track though, but I'm gonna just show the very start of this because, like, yeah, obviously I don't have much to gain from doing this one, and it is just a case of, in the exact same way that I spammed out for the blue perfect nitros, this one needs 10 shockwaves. So drifting the car up to fill a meter, and then just shockwave, drift, shockwave, drift, and just, yeah, you can combo out the 10 of those just in the single first straight there. It's like absolutely no bothers whatsoever, because, like, again, it's just like the game will count them as soon as the car goes into that purple state, and then job done. That's your nitro shockwave complete. But yeah, to the finish line. No, and there we go, 121 knocked out in that car. Pretty cool. No rewards gained there, but that will be my 5-hole tokens. And yeah, that's the 10 shockwaves done of that, like I said, at the very start. Just wiggled out of that 4GT Mark II's butt. Now, and say this one here, perform 4 barrel rolls in a single multiplayer race. Now, multiplayer I haven't actually looked into just yet, but I mean, that's easy enough. I don't normally include a multiplayer race in this, but I may as well for this one. Corvette Stingray, where did I finish up? 375. Pretty cool. I think it's just for some yeah, body kits. Will these be trade coined? Most likely, but see if there's anything cool. Front bumper for the 911, trade coins, and some trade coins. Oh, that's pretty shocking. Not too amazing. It's replaced with, cool, a trial series for that Corvette C7. And again, that one is a season with unlimited fuel. Only pure skill matters, and your latency has a fair bit to play. And that's going to be another one where there's 1,000, yeah, so 1,000 points there for a epic part for that Corvette C7. Not sure would I bother with that, but yeah, it is there for the taking if anyone wants it. Really easy to earn the 1,000 points. And let's see, in my other one then, for multiplayer 1, I have to say, I hope they're going to change this in some way, and they may well have changed this already, but putting the game in a scenario where around 200 players are the only ones who get to use the S-Class cars is really not a great idea. Because if you think about it, like the majority of this game is like upgrade your garage, upgrade your cars, and the end goal of that is getting to use some S-Class cars. And now, like, the way the leaderboard worked in the past season was horrifically bad. Like, the point deduction that you got for losing a match or getting the seed was way worse than the points that you gained from a win. I'm always saying the fact that, like, I didn't like the rush seasons because you didn't lose enough. And to be fair, there's a big difference between like losing 1 point by one player in a race out of 8 people and what was going on with this absolute trash in the last season. Like, I absolutely think that whilst, to be fair, I'm kind of don't care one way or the other about rank and position and stuff like that, I still think that's a bad idea in terms of the multiplayer one is pretty much the primary place where anyone is going to use S-Class cars, and definitely the only place where you can use an S-Class car and show it off to other players. So what is the point in everyone outside of the 200 people who finished in Legend League getting S-Class cars if you can never use them, or if you can use them but in a daily event, which is also just completable by using the Aventador Centenario, I mean. So, like, yeah, I absolutely think whoever thought up of that nonsense series, yeah, they should really look at what they're doing in terms of, like, make it so that players get, you know, make it so that players want to get the SSC Chewatara, so that the average player, or, well, not only saying average player, there's about 20,000 players in the game, so with 200 or so people in Legend League by the end of the season, that means that about 1% or less of the players were able to use the S-Class car. So yeah, it's one thing if 1% of the players or less are whales who are going to pay for those cars. It's another thing completely if there is zero reason for any normal player to want to buy a car like the SSC Chewatara, simply because in this last season they could not have used it one single time in the month. Absolutely ass backwards way of, like, organizing these things. And yeah, ranty rant. Sort this shit out. Jesus. Let's see though. What do I get from this? It's definitely going to be awesome stuff. Yeah, it's like I've got a 3-in-1 chance of this being just trade coins, I think. And oh no, wow, it's the entire season for 2 blueprints for the CR1. So at least it wasn't trade coins, but wow, it might as well be. And like, yeah, trade coin, trade coins, 2 blueprints for the entire season of that. Jeez, thank you, Gameloft. That's fantastic. Really, some awesome rewards there. And this thing is Ghost Slipstream. That's not bad. I guess it's like a time trial, so it wouldn't affect other players. Except it's not quite a time trial because you're being massively impacted by the other players. Like, Slipstream is one of those ones that gets really badly impacted by people who accidentally have bad MS, because yeah, obviously when a car is in that red state, it doesn't drop the nitro trail for other players. So this kind of sucks a small bit, and there's room for leaderboard full of warriors again, I'd say, at the top. But what can you do? Just take one look as well, and the leagues look to be exactly the same so far. 1,750 for the top one. I'm not sure if it'll be changed in terms of how easy or hard that is to climb up those ranks, but all I want realistically from this is 4 barrel rolls in a single race. Using a Honda Civic here, this is one car that, yeah, I see a lot of people complaining about on the Facebook group, to be fair, and saying like, oh, this is a bad D-Class car. Honda Civic is not a bad D-Class car in the slightest to have. I strongly disagree with that. I think, like, that, yeah, this one is, it's a really cool car. And, like, if you don't have this one at max tuning, like, in the weekly competitions, this is definitely a car which you can make quite a lot of use of in terms of gaining some tokens from this every week. So like I said, I strongly disagree with the fact of this being a bad car hunt. Even in terms of for players like myself who have the car maxed out, the shit up here. Oh, this one's not actually a barrel roll ramp, but a flip off the edge there for 2 barrel rolls. Oh, want to make sure and keep up with my fellow dudes here. But yeah, even if you have the car maxed tuning like I do, like that car hunt is still going to mean that at the end of this week we'll get a car hunt riot for this one, and obviously the chance of some nice epics with that as well. So ooh, I'm just thinking, do we have the potential of another barrel roll coming up here? There is off the side of this. There we go. Just to roll off the edge of that, you can trigger a barrel roll. Ah, of course, there's the potential for another one as well coming down here. If we just go off the side of that and nip underneath. Not exactly ideal, obviously, for speed to hit that one. Oh, let's see. Can we nip a few positions here? The final thing. A lot of players seem to mess up at the end here and don't use the blue nitro state, but no, not able to clear back too many. Fort. Oh well, that's yeah, like I said, I was just going for my nice barrel rolls from that one. Welcome to the Bronze League. Had enough of that last season. And there's the milestone reward for that, and yeah, there we go. Didn't notice the 5 tokens being added, but I'm sure they were. Oh, it was probably to the right of the milestone reward that I got for that. But yeah, first race on that. That season is also just 2 weeks now, so I'm guessing there's probably even less rewards for that. And yeah, there'll probably be like a change to that midway through and an extra week or 2 added to it and no rewards added, so that'd be cool. Gonna hop back in here, blast out one more race and finish off that reputation rewards. Since it's slipstream and infinite nitro, maybe go for a TVR Griffith. Yeah, but it's just gonna hit this one up and get the club rep 2500 finished off, because obviously multiplayer is the best place to go for club rep always. And there we go, that's a win. Should be by a mile. Yep, exactly on the same second as that person. On 360 when you're going across the line, that's a really good way to lose a race. Oh well, that was a phrase I remember before. Don't taunt when you're a scrub. But yeah, that should be my extra tokens knocked in there for the reputation with your club. Earned 5 points. And yeah, I think now, so there's only one other quest that I've got left for this guy here, and that is buy items in the Legend Store. Now, Legend Store realistically is like, that's not a difficult quest. The only thing is, for me, that kind of is gonna suck a small bit, because like the only cars that I can see inside this Legend Store anymore are blueprints just for the actual Genty. And the thing is, they show up for credits about once every couple of weeks. So like, I'm not gonna spend like an excessive amount of credits on like just nonsense. Realistically, the way that I'll probably get those 15 items is over the next actual 2 weeks, because I'm in no rush to get this one completely finished. I will probably buy these normal import parts that are 25,000 credits and load up on those. Now, what I do with those is buy 3 of them and then just convert them into trade coins and do that wash, rinse, repeat. There is obviously epic import parts that I could be buying here. So if I see anything interesting coming up, I think I need like one other for the Apollo N. So when the shop resets, I'll obviously take a look here and see if there's anything cool for me to pick up, but it's most likely just going to be done with these standard import parts, the ones that are 25,000 credits, and I'm just going to use that to like be buying an item in the Legend Store every day for the 5 token daily quest. And yeah, I'll be racking up stuff towards that. The reason I'm not just going to blast out credits on this just to get this finished 100% immediately is because I got 2 weeks to do it, and also like since I'm at tier 50, I've no immediate gain from doing it. The only other thing I can get from doing these quests is once I've got every quest done from episode 8 as well, I'll get a bonus for doing that. And now the bonus for the last 2 season passes has been 1 million credits. So it doesn't really make much sense if I spend, say, like 2 or 3 million credits buying import parts just for the sake of, yeah, getting a reward of 1 million credits. It really, yeah, it's just not going to make any sense. So I'm going to be using the purchase of these here every day. And like I said, if anything cool shows up at this portion, I might pick those up as well. But yeah, because I do have the 130,000 trade coins. Realistically though, I'm just kind of holding on to those for, like, yeah, like I said, I think there's one other piece for the Apollo N, and if that pops up, then I will be, yeah, obviously getting that just to polish off the car, because that would make that gold, I'm pretty sure, for my car. Now, so what that does mean is this one's 91%. I'm not going to get that one blueprint right now for the Corvette Stingray. I'll get that as I kind of knock out these items in the Legend Store over the next couple of days. But it does mean that I'm going to get some extra rewards from finishing off those last 5 tiers from the actual Legend Pass itself. Now, so yeah, that's every single one of those tiers complete. And there's the epic. 500,000 credits, a star up for the Stingray anyway, some trade coins, some more trade coins effectively when I cash those in, some trade coins and trade coins. Other epic for the Stingray, some trade coins, some blueprints for the next star on that, and 500 tokens, which was really nice to get out of the end of that Legend Pass. But yeah, there's a next star up for that Class C Corvette Stingray. Need that for the ongoing event for the SSC Tuatara as well, so that's pretty class. And yeah, a handful of epics for that one already. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be ever needing those epics. Maybe later on, but definitely not as of right now, at least anyway. But there's the second star for this guy, and pretty classy American car, really nice looking. And yeah, very, like, I like that this, like, Legend Pass gave a bunch of strange cars in the lower classes. Like, we've got the D class Grand Prix on at the moment, the C class Stingray from the Legend Pass, the B class Ford GT Mark II, obviously the end ones of the SSC Tuatara and Beatty Blade in the S class. They're pretty awesome as well. But yeah, I like the nice range of cars from, like, yeah, the Kings all the way down to some of the weirder ones, but yeah, fun enough to drive at the same time. Strange 5-star C class car. And yeah, we'll hit the star up because I've got no more missions that are going to need a star up. And very unusual, the red hood on this one. Yeah, it's clearly a fan of the Joker. Just, yeah, pretty class. And 12,000 gained to my garage value, so that'll be handy enough if you were still climbing the levels up towards level 18. Shout out to Dante MK who got that milestone. If you do get levels up as well throughout the your garage level, do keep an eye on the DLCs. I mentioned this to Dante, but if you do pass milestone levels, it can appear every now and again where you get like a special DLC pack in the store. They're limited time purchase, and I was actually at level 18 by the time those were brought in, so the only one I saw was the final one. But for me, that was like a really good value. I think it might have been €2 or €5, but it definitely gave in excess of, or in and around 1,000 tokens and a ton of like packs and blueprints and stuff. It was actually a genuinely really good DLC thing. But just, yeah, if you do level up your garage, do take a look and see if those limited available offers pop up for you in the store, because yeah, it can be easy to miss with the sheer amount of DLC packs and stuff that have been added in. But yeah, let's see, that's this one complete. Obviously you get the bundle availability for next thing, but otherwise all of these golds are just going to keep on for the next 2 weeks. So yeah, that, I mean, the trade coin bonus and all of that extra fuel for the car is obviously going to help out with some of the stuff, like the SSC event is being benefited by that, and the free refill kind of helps it, especially moving into the moving into the 3 ticket stage of that event, because yeah, that obviously gives you like a fair boost into yeah, getting a couple of days fully farmed out with this one. There is one more set of missions coming up then before this season ends, so they'll be available next week. That said, those missions won't exactly be anything particularly hard. The grind is, what is it, 45 races in Osaka, 35 races in Himalayas, and 25 in the Caribbean. So yeah, some Osaka races to be grinded out with that, but the rest of that is all fairly easy. There's no like upgrade a car or, you know, a crazy amount of things to do, like the buying items in the Legends store. Most of them outside of the grind is just simple enough, like yeah, just do it in a couple of races, things like where it's a certain condition to get some extra jumps or open card packs, and yeah, they can always be done relatively quickly, especially with car hunts and stuff lying around the place. But yeah, pretty cool season though, other than like a bit of weird wording. Mostly generally okay, easy stuff, and yeah, possible to do in the first day, with the exception of the buy items in the Legend Pass. I'm not going to go crazy with that because, like I said, that would just end up costing me credits instead of gaining me anything really in the long term in this, and yeah, I've no real intention of doing that. But yeah guys, I always appreciate the support. If you leave a like on this video, it's really appreciated. Drop a comment down below what you thought of this season pass, or so far at least anyway, because still have one more episode to go and finishing off the Grand Prix and the Tuatara. Sub button up there over my head, other videos here and here, and yeah guys, drive safe always and good luck.